La 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 la. I was born many years ago. I have to say many, many years ago. I was born on December 18th, 1917. That's 90 years ago. Of course, it doesn't feel any different than from when I was 89 years old. But still, for the record, I'm 90 years old. You can see my dog here. He likes to sit here because he wants to see what's going on. Get your nose out of the way, Oldie. Put CNN on.
I tried to send you an email, Grandma. You have a new email address?
I have an email. What's my email address, Denise?
Rosina Ward at
Yahoo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
.com.
RosinaWard@yahoo.com. So what else, Grandma? You've been playing bridge?
Well, I play bridge on just Fridays now. I go on Fridays. I go down to it's a hotel there that mostly elderly people live.
Oh.
And they play bridge on Fridays, so I go down Fridays and play bridge with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So I enjoy it.
I didn't
Now that's
see that
my
card.
ace. No.
Yes, it was your ace.
All right.
One often wonders about people when you first meet them, what has happened during their life to make them the person that they are today. Of course, being born was a marvelous thing because I had a fun childhood. I call it fun. But I think the most wonderful time in my life was getting married and having 2 children. Now, I'll never forget, though, when my first daughter was born, they brought her to me wrapped in the blanket, of course, and when the baby comes, you pull the cover down, you look at their face, you look at their feet, you look at their hands, and I looked at her hands and I stopped. I said, wait, what's wrong with her hand? Because when I looked at her fingers, she had an extra finger. I said, well, that's very odd. What's going to happen? Is it going to grow like the other fingers, I wonder? Of course, the next time they brought her to me, I looked at her hands again. But something new had happened. They had wrapped that little finger in a tight cord. It was on the edge of her small finger. And it was almost like hanging. And they said, well, it'll be all right. After a while, it will shrink and it will fall off. Well, sure enough, it finally did shrink and fall off. Of course, I told my husband about it. He thought it was strange as well. So all the relatives who came to saw the baby, they all looked at, oh, look at Pat. Pat has an extra finger. She's an extraordinary child with an extra finger. And that's how we have thought of it since. And surely enough, she is an extraordinary child. When she was maybe about 3 or 4, I said, you see that little place there on your end of your little finger? I said, did you know that you had an extra finger? Of course, she shook her head. No, she didn't know. So, of course, she smiled at it, and I said, let's give it a clap. In fact, I said, let's give a fairy clap. And then, of course, I had a second child. They were the happiest days of my life, I'm sure. 5 years, the world was just around Pat. Now she had to share attention of her parents with another baby, but she loved the baby. I remember when she first heard I was going to have a baby, she went out on the porch, my mother is pregnant. She's going to have a baby. And, of course, when the baby came, she loved the baby very, very much. It's very interesting that I am very proud of my children because they're very intellectual and they're loving. So my oldest daughter decided, since she was artistic, she wanted to be an artist. So today she is a professor of art at the Florida State University, and she's a practicing artist. My youngest daughter also is a professor of art at the Washington University in St. Louis, and she is also a practicing artist. Now, I tried to give out love the way I could so that they could experience what love was about. I often think also in this world that we live on, we learn to connect with people. Each of us has a talent. We must use that talent to the best of our ability. We need to connect with many kinds of people. We need to be able to talk and understand other people. And so we don't push a person aside because the person is not like us. We try to connect with that person because we can learn from them the same as another person can learn from us.
You got a song ready, Grandma?
Over the rainbow.
Over the rumba?
Over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh